when I first came across one of the trailers for Lord of the Mysteries. I unironically, for a few seconds, thought that it was an announcement trailer for an upcoming Bloodborne anime, but then I realized the prospects of us getting any form of new Bloodborne related content is probably less likely than us getting Half-Life 3 at this point. So I did a double take, and yeah, I was right, it wasn't a Bloodborne anime. Well, seems like Bloodborne remains cursed as an IP and continues to be the one thing in existence at this point that isn't going to receive anything new for its IP before we get the next GTA game. But alas, despite my mild disappointment, I still remained intrigued about this Bloodborne-looking-ass show on account that it gave off, well, really strong Bloodborne vibes. I mean, just look at this. Go on. Tell me that isn't giving strong Bloodborne vibes. But Lord of the Mysteries is obviously more than just its aesthetical resemblance to Bloodborne. It's an adaptation of a web novel by the same name. Though not just any web novel, for you see, Lord of the Mysteries is the web novel. The web novel as in the most popular, or maybe the most critically acclaimed. Well, the answer is both. It's both. The answer is both. So yeah, with that in mind, it's not wrong to assume then that it must have a crazy strong narrative, right? And so far as an anime only, or I guess a donghua only, who have finished Season 1 and is currently reading the first volume of the novel, which Season 1 adapted, yeah, that seems to be the case, assuming you like the idea of uncovering some real mysterious, well, mysteries. Because let me get this straight. Let's just say that the word mysteries in the title isn't just for show. When it comes to the mysteries, this show isn't playing around to say the least. I mean, look at this shit. This is a short thingy from episode 7 of season 1, and it already looks quite insane. But then you have fucking novel readers out there going, the good old days, before we knew how deep and complex the mystery rabbit hole would go. Like what? You mean to tell me that isn't complex? So yeah, Lord of the Mysteries isn't for the faint of heart, to say the least. Since the show do be expecting you to give it all the attention you feasibly can, which might be a turn-off to some of you mouth breeders out there. But this is also the thing that I've come to love so much about this show. Precisely that it doesn't try to cater to people it clearly isn't meant for. It is unabashedly its own thing, and expects you to rise to its level, not for it to go down and accommodate your stupid ass. Now, as for the premise of the show, we follow a certain Zhou Ming-rui, a Chinese man that through means he himself is unsure of, somehow ended up transmigrating to another world, waking up in the body of a man called Klein Moretti, a university graduate who through mysterious means ended up dying along with 2 of his friends after they had uncovered an ancient notebook. Zhou Ming-rui fortunately has retained many of Klein's memories, though with a lot of them being quite scattered, on account of him waking up in the body of a recently deceased man, with the cause of said death having something to do with the gunshot to the head. But fortunately, said memories are intact enough for our MC to decently navigate his way around this Victorian era-esque world. Or that's what he thought at least, for unbeknownst to him, he would not short after come in contact with the supernatural, and thereafter fall into its deep rabbit hole, coming to the realization that the secrets hiding in this world are way beyond anything he could have ever imagined. Phew. I hope that suffices as an introduction to the show. I know it was quite vague, or very vague, I guess. But believe me when I say this, the more blind you are going into this show, not blind literally as in your eyesight, but how much you know about it, the better your experience will be. Oh, and also, if you ever find yourself being confused, just stick with it, okay? It's a mystery show. You'll come to understand it eventually. Or at least I did, but I'm also big-brained, so take that with a grain of salt. But it should probably work for you as well. So next up, I want to yap a bit about how amazing the production value of this show is, starting with the elephant in the room, which, as you have probably noticed throughout this video, is the animation. This show looks absolutely insane. I mean, this rat, yes, this fucking rat has more animation than all of the beginning after the end. Not a high bar, I know, but still. Heck, Klein, our MC, flopping around with his meat, looks more fluid than most anime fight scenes. I just realized I could have worded that a lot better. Anyway, one of my favorite parts of Lord of the Mysteries, besides the narrative of course, is actually the art direction, and how they have decided to go about blending the 2D and 3D. Now, most 2D animated shows try to hide or obfuscate their usage of 3D. Well, in theory at least, since in most 2D shows the 3D is very noticeable, and not in a good way to say the least. But Lord of the Mysteries on the other hand, well, they show off their 3D proudly, and have intentionally made it distinct from the 2D, which gives the show a very unique aesthetic. Then we got the direction, which compared to the little I've read of the novel so far, seems to be more theatrical and bombastic in the donghua compared to the novel. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't think that's a bad thing, by any means, quite the opposite in fact. The direction also reminds me a lot of something akin to the first season of Chainsaw Man, in the sense that it has this very cinematic feel to it, and considering the show's setting, let's just say it works quite well if I can say so myself. And as for the music, not only is it just peak music in general, but the way it's been integrated into the show itself has also been done exceptionally well. Like, they really succeed at setting the tone and mood for a scene, like instantly. Absolute cinema. But yeah, I feel like that's probably enough glazing for one video. So, I implore all of you who haven't yet gone and checked out Lord of the Mysteries to go and do so. Right, and I almost forgot. BCMA Pictures, the studio behind Lord of the Mysteries, recently announced that they are locked in the whole way, having recently confirmed 7 seasons, 3 OVAs, and a movie for Lord of the Mysteries. Which is yet another thing that makes me happy. It didn't turn out to be a Bloodborne anime, because if that was the case, let's be real here, we would be happy with barely getting 1 core worth of episodes in like a decade. Not an entire adaptation with 7 seasons and multiple movies. But yeah, anyway, that's all for this video. If you enjoyed it, might I encourage you to go and maybe check out one of my other videos. If not, a sub would be greatly appreciated. Feel also free to argue with people in the comments, since it do boost my videos in the algorithm. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you around for my next video. Hello? Anybody still here? Great. So, I actually learned a thing about Lord of the Mysteries, which I thought I would share with y'all. Did you know that there's canonical mpreg in the show? Yeah, that's all I wanted to share. Bye.